Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amber Marion. If you're not new here, as always, welcome back. Before we get into today's video, please do me a super huge favor and look down below. Make sure you're hitting that little red subscribe button, as well as turning your post notifications on. While you're at it, you might as well go ahead and follow me on Instagram as well. I've been doing a lot of real unboxings, so if you like my videos here on YouTube, I'm pretty sure you'd like my content over there on Instagram. But most importantly, please make sure you're hitting that little red subscribe button. As you can tell by the title of today's video, it is not an unboxing video, but I am going to be sharing with you what I think the top 3 things are when looking to resell a luxury bag. I actually get a lot of DMs on Instagram as well as comments here on my videos of supporters and viewers trying to sell me pieces from their collection, and I have bought a piece from a supporter, but normally I direct them in the direction of Rebag, Fashion File, The Real, a company like that is a designer luxury resale company. Quick disclaimer before I get into what I think the 3 most important things are. These are just my opinions. These aren't necessarily fact written in a book somewhere. These are just my opinions and my top tips from my experience when selling. There's so many reasons to sell a luxury bag. You can be selling a bag because you just want a new one, you want to upgrade. You could be selling a bag because times are hard. You could be selling a bag because you bought an investment piece a long time ago and now that bag has tripled, doubled, quadrupled, whatever the case may be. But I'm gonna break down in this video to you guys my top 3 tips on how to get the most money for your luxury bags when reselling them. Let me just also say too, these tips are not in any particular order, just because I feel like all 3 of them are crucial in selling your luxury bag. So I think we can get right into what I think is important. Getting right into what I think is important when selling a luxury bag. Number 1 is definitely going to be to know your item and know your item's worth. And I say this because sometimes people think just because they have a designer bag, no matter who it be from, whether it's a Louis bag, a Hermes bag, a Marc Jacobs bag, people just assume because they've paid a lot for this product or that because this product can be resold, they're gonna get top dollar. And that's not necessarily the case in every situation. So it's very important to know whether you have just a regular designer item you're trying to sell. Do you have an investment piece you're trying to sell? Do you have a limited edition piece you're trying to sell? And all of these things factor into ultimately how much your quote is going to be. So definitely just know your item, know its worth, and the worth and the value that these companies are going to give you in the quote is definitely also going to be based off of the condition of your bag. So keep in mind the condition of your bag, the rarity of your bag, the designer of your bag are all going to be factors into essentially selling your bag at the end of the day. So you definitely want to know what you're selling, know what it's worth, know what type of piece it is. And this way you can kind of get an expectation of what to expect when you do get a quote back from one of these companies. Number 2 on my list is definitely to make sure that you're going with a reputable luxury resale company. So my top 3 favorites are Rebag, Fashion File, and The Real, and I'll break down in just 1 second why I love those 3. But it's super important to know who you're selling your bag to, where you're selling your bag to, and this isn't the video for posting your bag on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or Mercari, Poshmark. This is the video strictly about selling your luxury bags directly to a luxury resale company. So, like I said, Rebag, Fashion File, and The Real are my top 3. Rebag is on the top of my list just because I feel like they make the bag selling process super easy. They're super fast with their quotes. You also can go into a Rebag location if you have one near you. There's several in New York City. I believe there's several in LA. And you can actually have your bag quoted in store. You have to make an appointment. But if you're just strictly going through the internet, through your phone, I feel like Rebag's process is super simple. They even have a feature, Claire Search, which if you just put your bag in front of the little camera in the Claire Search, it will pick up what bag you have, what style, what model, etc. And then you just kind of fill out the rest of the information as far as condition, accessories, things like that. But I love Rebag for that. They make the selling process so easy. And also, I feel like Rebag is the quickest process from the time you get the quote to the time they receive your bag to the time they pay you out. Keep in mind, all of these sites are going to give you more in-store credit than they would in direct deposit or check payment for your items. So if you are just somebody trying to sell a bag to get a new bag, you might want to look into how much these stores are going to give you in-store credit as opposed to direct cash to you. So that's something to always keep in mind. And I love Rebag because they have a trade program. So they will actually give you more on a trade of an item to get a new item directly from them than they even will store credit. So I feel like Rebag has a lot of benefits to it, which makes it one of my favorite apps to, like I said, both buy and sell. Fashionphile is pretty similar to Rebag. However, they don't have that Claire Search feature, and I feel like they take a little longer to get back to you on the quotes of your items. I don't know if they just have less people working in that department. I really don't know what it is, but I love Fashionphile because they are always very fair with the quotes. Same as Rebag, I feel like you are going to get a very close quote on both sites, depending on the condition, the item, the rarity, like that. But I feel like both sites are pretty competitive in their pricing and in their store credit. I do believe Rebag gives a little bit more store credit for your item than the percentage that Fashionphile does, but Fashionphile has the very same process as Rebag. You get a quote, accept the quote, they send you a label, you send the item. Once they get the item, verify its authenticity, you get paid. Same with Rebag. So I love that both of Fashionphile and Rebag really make the process super easy. And keep in mind, Fashionphile and Rebag buy your bags outright. So they will just give you a quote and purchase your bag. They're not consignment. That leads me to The RealReal. The RealReal, I love it. I love The RealReal because they have so many more departments and categories than Fashionphile and Rebag. Rebag is kind of strictly bags and small leather goods, jewelry. Fashionphile has a little bit more, but The RealReal, you can get everything from apparel to houseware, home goods, china, fine china to eat on. You could get everything on The RealReal. However, The RealReal is generally a luxury consignment company. Keyword there being consignment. So they're not going to buy your items outright. They're going to have you send in your items. They're going to give you a quote, and then they're going to post them. And once your item sells, you will receive a portion of your sale, as far as your item being on consignment with The RealReal. They do clean the items, take pictures of the items, make it all nice. So it's not really a Poshmark feel, and they're not accepting every designer, but they're also not buying your items outright. I do believe they buy Chanel and Hermes outright. I'm not sure who else they buy outright, but they have a very limited list at The RealReal of designers that they will buy outright from you. So that's something to keep in mind, that if you do go the RealReal route, you are going to be doing consignment and waiting for your payment once your item sells, whereas Fashionphile and Rebag are going to buy your item as soon as they get it and verify its authenticity. They're going to pay you in whichever form of payment you've chosen. Another thing to be mindful of is these sites are not buying every designer. These sites are not accepting every designer, and that's just because these sites market and promote the items, photo shoot them. They just do a whole bunch of different things, so they have a different clientele. Definitely keep in mind that Rebag, Fashionphile, and The RealReal does not accept all designers. However, all three of them have a list of designers that they do accept on their website. However, if you do have an item that is not sellable on those sites, I highly recommend Poshmark, Mercari, eBay to sell those items, because things like Marc Jacob bags, Michael Kors bags, while RealReal Rebag, Fashion File aren't taking them. There is definitely a market of people buying them. So you just have to use a different outlet like Poshmark, Mercari to sell those type of items. My last tip when trying to resell your designer items is definitely take high quality photos that you're going to be submitting to these companies. You want to be completely transparent with any of the damages, if there is any damages, anything about the bag that is a flaw. You want to be completely transparent in the pictures. But if you do have an item that's in excellent condition, you want to highlight that. So you want to make sure that you're submitting the best lighting pictures. I mean, this is kind of like submitting your headshots if you want top dollar for your bag. You really want to make sure that you get everything very well detailed pictures. This way, when the person who is authenticating your item and paying out your quote, they're seeing the pictures and they're super great quality and super easy for them to do. So that's my last tip. And I really felt like that was an important tip to include, because I feel like if you're not taking the best pictures of your items, they might not know what great condition your item is in, what accessories your item comes with. So you really want to make sure that you take pictures of all of that. You really do. You want to make sure you take pictures of the serial numbers, all of those things, so that when you do submit your pictures to these companies, they can give you top dollar. One thing I like about Rebag, and this is the only site that I've ever seen this happen, is I have sold something to Rebag. I accepted a quote. They looked at my pictures, I accepted a quote, and I sent them my item, and they actually ended up paying me more than what they initially said. And they sent me an email saying the condition of the item was better than they anticipated, as well as that item had become more sought after since receiving my quote. So I do love Rebag for that as well, because I feel like another company probably, like I said, it's never happened with another company. It's only happened with Rebag to me. But I feel like another company would just mark up your item and not even tell you about it. So I love Rebag a little bit more for that, because they will pay you more if your item arrives to them in a better condition than the condition they quoted you on. I really hope today's video was informative and can help somebody in the process of selling their luxury designer bags. I feel like it definitely can be very overwhelming if you're trying to sell an item out of your collection or just trying to trade a bag and you don't really know which direction to go in. So hopefully this video will help somebody somewhere sell one of their luxury pieces. These tips have always just helped me in selling anything that I've ever sold. I have been saying I want to do a video on the bags I've sold and why. I'm not too sure about that. I haven't sold many bags, but I definitely see that trend a lot. If you guys would like to see that video, definitely let me know in the comments below. As well as if you'd like to see the tips that I recommend for buying a used bag on the resale market, because I do have some great tips for that as well. Definitely let me know in the comments. And as always, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please make sure you're hitting that little thumbs up down below. And while you're there, make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you're not subscribed already. Every little red subscribe button click means the world to me. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video.